Um, I uh so the plan changes a little bit. And so I have all my parts for my I'm probably gonna work on edit, I think. I have all my parts for let me just take a quick look at next. Paste multi-line. I'm not expecting to get much done. Here. Um, Today's Friday. I have all the parts for my keyboard kind of so I still plan on taking this Pro Micro off and that's what I'm probably gonna do next because all the diodes are done before I start building a new keyboard, even though I eventually want backup keyboard if I do end up I most likely, judging from my experience with my current keyboard, my experience with Dvorak and QMK and being able to flash boards, be able to have very cool key maps and stuff. The only thing different that this new keyboard is gonna be from my current keyboard, that it's slightly separated, or it could also not be slightly separated. You could just it's movable. And the keys are in slightly different positions, or collinear. Which, judging by how enjoyable it was to switch from QWERTY to Dvorak, I think this smaller transition from staggered to non-staggered won't be as that big of a change. So I'm expecting to like this keyboard. I do have an extra backup keyboard already bought because I don't want to have to wait once I do desolder this one if it works. I'm not sure if it's gonna work. Um, but I got, instead of the micros with the micro USB, I got very special. I think they're like $2 to $5 more than the micro I got last time. I don't really remember the prices. It is the Elite C. Like, I think when I was ordering on the website, the Elite C version 4, USB C. And what I didn't realize about this that is way cooler than last time. Yes, it looks insane and way better than a previous micro. And it seems like it's capable of doing a lot more with extra pins and a whole bunch of other stuff. But the one thing I didn't notice at first until I got it is that the unlike the micro USB one, the USB C thing for it, I think, there's like kind of a square at the underneath side, a square cutout underneath the bottom of the PCB or the board, and it seems like the USB-C is kind of like with the board. It's hard to explain, but compared to well, I don't really have and the USB-C, it seems a way more firmly attached than this. The for this micro USB, it seems like, I could be wrong, it was only connected by what's that? 1, 2, like 5 pins on the back, and test us. 2 side little metal bits, pieces of metal. And this one, like, this one might be the same, or maybe, well, it seems like four and maybe a bit more pins instead of 2, but and it seems like they actually, oh no, I don't think they do anything. Or do they? They might. Or maybe that's just sort of. Either way, it's like the way this is like designed. It seems like you could just, like, in the previous one, like, I completely understand how it broke. Like on the, I just plugged it in, and it was just that little tiny bits of metal holding it together. So made sense that it kind of broke off. Also kind of didn't, because I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it was just a little unlucky. But this, it seems like because it's like the board is cut out and it's a lot lower, it's not like like the board is there and you touch it on top. The the force of you plugging it in, uh like from what I could tell, there's probably no way to break this USB-C port off, and unless you plug it in and intentionally like lever it up. But just from plugging it in straight there, it seems pretty impossible. Um, but I'm sure they didn't design the whole board around that idea, or at least like like I could totally see like them being complete with their whole concept of it and then being like, oh, this is a cool thing. Good thing that this it's a cool thing that this is here or whatever. But so I have a few Elite Cs. Um and I'm pretty excited to get a keyboard running. But I was gonna uh do the whole thing, the desolder, solder on the Elite C, make sure it works. If it works, then lube and solder all the switches. Uh, that's kind of it, I think. Um, but I do have to do something early in the morning, and it is pretty late, so I'm already kind of like um, dang, that kind of is I don't know. Um, so yeah, I won't be waking up early to desolder a micro. I will be waking up early to do something else. Uh, but yeah, I do have a solder sucker, and I think I might just try to go for the top of the Pro Micro, just solder the things, suck out all the vacuum, all the solder metal. Uh, or I could also just the back of the board, just desolder all the bottom pins header stuff. I think it's called. Um, one of my headers is a little bit bent. I hope I just bend it back. Also, there's for the Elite C, the why does this actually move? Okay. Maybe on, so let's say that micro USB board, well, it'll be one Elite C, one micro USB, works. On the second one, on the backup one, which might be soldered better, so I might use it more often. And the backup board, which would be that board I'll take everywhere with me. I don't have another. Uh, is it TRRS or TTRS? The thing connecting the two parts of the keyboards together. I would need to get another one of those. And also some more switches. Because I probably don't want to take out the switches from my current keyboard. And I do not have enough switches for 2 foreign keyboards. I'd have to get more switches. But besides that, the $30 kit pretty much comes with everything, I think. Pretty much. I pretty much get the. I think I get them all from the same place. Oh, and also I won't have, or maybe it depends on. There was a lot of Switch films in that bag. But I'll see how the Switch films go. Seems like from what it looks like, the first keyboard I make would probably be the backup, and then the second keyboard would probably do a better job, and I would have slightly better parts and probably better. I'll have like better. I don't know. I'll take the keycaps for my current keyboard. And also I have the keycaps that came with the drop alt. I could put those on the backup. But I think I talked about it a little bit a while ago. I really want keycaps of a certain kind of style. I don't remember. It would have to be my history. What's it called? Keycaps. It's a MA style. Um, I might have to just slowly keep an eye on MA keycaps and then uh, do some looking around. I know that, so I have the blue MA keycaps. I think there is a white version. I think those might be cool. I'd probably still prefer the blue. Um, but the white keycaps are definitely better than the normal keycaps that I have. Yeah, we'll see. So, been 23 minutes talking. Let's try to do something. I don't really actually expect to do anything at all, but uh, and I am gonna go to sleep in a little bit. I'll wake up early. Of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5. I don't know what piece multiline means. Maybe I'm talking about multiline in function visual. I think async. Man, I'm doing like everything besides this search thing. Is so unbelievably useful. And I'm building an editor. I'm doing everything but the search. But I feel like the search would be really kind of. I feel like I'm putting it off because the other stuff is more important. Or should be done first to make it a lot more functional. But then again, I feel like a very extremely simple search, like basically find this string, basically find string inside of string, would be really easy to figure out how to do that. Um, Uh, I might be able to try coming up with the concept of four draw lines per text file line. This is a lot later down, but I'm gonna be doing a lot of visual stuff. And, I was looking at it, so I think I might have an idea, but I'd have to open up GIMP. GIMP and we gotta think about what we got. An important part would probably be well, then I probably don't need to be logged into this other server. Give me a second. Oops. Oop. An important part will be figuring out S placements, I think. But let's see how we did what we currently have, because what we currently do is we have a letter, and for that letter we find this point, this point, this point, and this point. We find 4 points, and then we do the drawing, extending those points. This is supposed to be a letter T, by the way, but it looks like a plus sign. I always write like T for task. That's kind of. I should probably write I. It seems like a more conventional, temporary single letter variable name. So we have character spacing. And the borders must have line spacing. You know, maybe we might need some checks somewhere in order to do the drawing, which might get rid of splace function, where it's being called, not the actual function itself, or yeah, the function itself, where we, or maybe I have no idea, where it would actually have to be called each frame. To do the drawing. And while it's being called each frame, you could just do the math with it. might as well, but or maybe not. Uh, if I had my uh nah, um maybe later I'll just for sure I'm gonna end up creating multiple versions of this snippet slash edit file. One with line numbers, one without line numbers, etc. But I might create multiple versions of kind of like style of code. And it'll be kind of cool because I might be able to reference it in the future. Looking at the multiple styles, and it would also mean like I wouldn't have to choose one permanently. I could just decide to swap them out, kind of whenever. If I feel like one's better for that moment, or if one ends up being the best. I could write about why that is. So it'll be kind of informative if I ever revisit the multiple style things, knowing why which one was better than the other. So in order to find the things, I didn't use any crazy stuff like font bounding box actual or bounding box left or right. I kind of just used the character spacing, which was wait, maybe I did use it. Wait, I might have. Maybe I just forgot I used it. Hold on, let me look at the file on top of the file. Care accent, care descent. Care vertical range is the accent minus the descent. What is care spacing? Care spacing. Okay, so it's a manually inputted value, so yeah, I was correct. I didn't use any bounding box left or right thing for that. Although could I? I might be able to figure something out. With actual bounding box left and right. The reason why I would want to do that is it would kind of like have a default that would make sense. So if you're to might be this might be a little complicated, but I don't think I've ever seen anything done like this before. Probably for a reason. It's a little complicated. At the start, if you were to just open up the text editor, it'll do like some bounding box left and right calculation. Come up with a number that'll be the default character with spacing. And then that can be changed. But also, if you were to increase the font size, or up or down, that calculation would be done again, that would be set. Or you'd have an option that way when you do change the font, it would not be set. It would remain whatever manually inputted thing, if there was a thing manually inputted. To say again, to reiterate, re-articulate, you would manually set a thing, and as you go up, whatever manual number you set is forgotten, and a default comes in. Or there would be an option to have it not forget. But that might be a little bit weird because changing the font size, it'll probably look really bad. So that's why that option would probably have to be enabled. So that way you kind of know that that's going to happen every single time. But who knows? So it seems like I did this for every character. So what I could do is, I think, a line by line thing. So we would just do, and this is do text for car, and then we're gonna do for line, and I might have to do something like this. Here. Can you like chain? If you make like one of these invisible, it would make this and this invisible as well. Probably not significant, so I won't worry about it. So you have a line test, and maybe you have a space and a EST here, and let's say you're right here, and let's start us at the first character right here. You would get this dot right here. You would there's no overlapping lines on the first one because it's a single character, and you have to do the 4 print in a way. So for no overlapping, it might be a little bit more complicated. For this particular example, it's pretty easy for me to kind of just kind of figure it out, but to do this with multiple cases might be a little bit difficult. I think this is the concept I want to go with. And then you would just connect the lines. ES. Uh, so then you would just draw from here. This line would be drawn. 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 Okay. So and selection can go above or below. So the top or the bottom line, whatever, it'll probably, okay, so we could probably say always the top line maybe would be uh so line 1 is 4 lines. And then every line after that would be 3 lines. Is there a case where it wouldn't be 3 lines? After I write this down. Because yeah, you would just for the first line figure out those points, and then for every line after that you would figure out 2 points, and then draw the 3 lines. Because I don't think it's possible to select something like a case where I know there probably would be supposed to say testing. Like there's just no way to go from here and then not select any of this part, but have this part selected. And as you move, you will always have everything in the line. Like you wouldn't be able to do something like this either, where these 2 are selected but everything in between is not selected. That kind of would be unique though. I'm not gonna do it because it would kind of suck to implement it into the way my current programming is set up, with the whole selected placements thing. But like, let's say you were selecting like normal, right? If you were to hit control, or maybe you hold control to select and you let go control and it stops selecting and you hold control again, you can make this jump where you can have your cursor right here, move to the right once, go into visual mode, hit control. This is selected, add it to the placements, let go of control, move to the right once, twice, 3 times. and then once more, fourth time, hit control. That is added to the selected placements. And maybe the reason why you'd want that is kind of like you select like let's say there's like 3 lines, right? To add another test here. You select like half of the first line, skip a line, I don't know, the first half of the second. You can do something there. Maybe. Um Instead of having to half of the first, maybe paste it in a new line. Select whatever you're gonna select, paste it, and then select the combined stuff. Maybe it's a little excessive for something probably might be a little bit overboard. But so we need to find. So we'll actually have to, for the drawing, we'll actually just have to. It might be actually less intensive to do this than this, because instead of like finding out where your placement is and then finding all the math, you would just do stuff like line by line based on what's selected. You'd find the start of the line, what's the length of the line, you get all your points, and then do a quick draw. I think. Probably be the same, I think. Um oh man, I have to have this. I'll write that up later. Um is there anything maybe a bit maybe a bit easier? Um I eventually wanna. I'm not sure if I can make my own color picker or not. I know there's an HTML color picker, I think. Is this it? But I would want to make something where you can just you know like maybe I don't know, something, and then there'll be like a little GUI, maybe, I don't know. Uh and you would select your color, or maybe you could do like uh text background, and then instead of actually writing out the color, you can, like, normally you would do like, you wouldn't do it in quotes, you would just do black. But instead of doing black, you do color picker, and the client side would look for that keyword. If it doesn't find that keyword, it just sends it to the server. But if it sees that, then it's like, oh, pop up, and then there's like a little color picker. I don't want to do it this way. I don't like the way this is kind of set up, or maybe it is the best way to set it up, and I'll end up going with this. But you would pick green, brightest green, maybe a darker green, and then I don't know. There might be an okay. You might have the option to output it to the command line. I don't know, but then it would just, instead of having to do like text background color or something like that, black, or the actual hex code if you wanted a more specific color than black. Like you would have to like write this out. So instead of writing this out, you just choose your color, and the color picker would just send this to the server, or whatever, or the RGB value or something. Oh hex. I know there is an HTML color picker. I've seen this before, I think. This is kind of cool, but this kind of stuff is a little bit more smooth. I like how this has like all the colors in a single, thing, where you don't have to slide this bar back and forth. So if you wanted like green, it's just right there. Or I don't know, this is pinkish or blue. You would just get your X value, but it seems like this doesn't have all this color, and you would also like the shades are in a separate spot. Might as well just have something like this be sliding. I guess this would be the shades, the color, and the shades. Does that always have to be separate? Is there a way to like integrate them both? Probably not, right? Is that possible? Oh, this is the H2. Oh, is this a custom? Did they make this? Is this a custom color picker? Here's the code. Or did they just change it in HTML5? There's no way this actually works, right? But yeah, this actually seems pretty cool. But this whole thing is white. It is gray because of my forcing everything to be dark theme thing, but I'm pretty sure this is white. And I want to be able to, sometimes not have things white or of a certain font or of a certain placement or whatever. Um HTML5.1 looks pretty cool. Um but are like, can I see like types of color pickers? Like I've also seen this triangle one, which seems pretty cool. I don't think this is gonna show me what I'm looking for. Uh uh so I'm guessing the actual color would be the ring, and then you would just pick the shades. Same with here. So it seems like these are kind of like, this is like, the color is, oh, this is interesting. Where the color is I think the actual color is like around the edge of the solid circle. But as you go more towards inwards, you would change the shade to darker. But depending on, I'm guessing, where you are, you can also change that shade to lighter. Um, and the inverse with this one, you would, as you go inwards, it would be lighter and darker. I wonder if you could kind of um like, you had this one and you took this one and you kind of kind of inverted it. Um, so instead of it being a circle, it is kind of like a, well, it'd still be a circle. It'll just be like a kind of, it still be a 2D circle. Hollow though, as in, okay, it would be, it would be just a circle. But as you move towards the outsides, it would get lighter. That way, you can have your actual colors, and moving in or out of the circle, the like twice as large circle would be your thing, and you would have like one thing instead of like two bars, it'll probably be incredibly less accurate of a color picker, but like there's like I can already see the reason why uh like you pick the color and then you have something different to edit the shade of that color that you picked. But it might not be that crazy to have it all in one if I'm understanding how this works. But this is cool. There's no way I just talked for an hour and not done anything. But um I'll also even before the output, I would want command line history, maybe a history toggle. But you would send the server optionally with the toggle and options. Send the server like if you like run like a command like edit test, I get sent to the server, you get back your edit file. Okay, like let's say you type in URL, edit test, send to the server, you get back you get back your page. Let's say you edit a different file, you edit testing. Edit testing gets sent to the server, but also another variable, another piece of data, the edit test. And then you get sent back your edit testing. And on the client, there's a variable that just says, edit test. And then you open up the command line, you conventionally, in order to do kind of history stuff, like if I were to, like, oh, test, clear echo test, I'm pressing the up key. So let's say you press the up key, then you would get to that edit test. But I would also want to. I guess it doesn't matter either way. But yeah, that type of functionality would be important. And the ability to actually change the keybinds and stuff like that. Add new ones, remove old ones, if possible. Um, man, all the easy stuff is kind of gone. Um, 726 lines. We might be able to be under 1,000. I might be able to figure out a way to like not have duplicate cases or whatever, but um hmm. Well, I actually kind of haven't done much, but I feel like I have to go. Um um one thing though is I'm not sure if I mentioned this or not, but I could create a new layer here. Very top. Um I need to come up with some way. So let's say you have okay, how am I gonna explain this? So you have a document with lines. This is okay. Line 1, line 2, line 3. These line numbers are very useful for moving around the document, but you know, a lot of time you're also moving horizontally. It would be cool to have, you know, line number like very tiny line numbers here, but if the line is more than 10 digits, 10 characters, then that could kind of be a problem. I'm thinking just create a numbering system with a higher base with symbols that can fit like a single character length. So, the first one would be a dot. The second one would be like that is kind of intuitive that you kind of get uh the kind of progression out of. Because I think at what point I've seen uh some type of system with is it like polygons. So that would be, I don't know, what is that? Okay, so this would be 3, 4. I can't draw. That would be 6. I skipped 5 because I can't draw. Um, Progressively, kind of intuitive. But if you were to get to 16, I think it would be hard to distinguish uh 15 gone versus a 16 gone. I think it's like what is it? Is it called septagon? But octagon, and then I think maybe deck is common. I think that's used. Decagon maybe. It's octagon. I'm not really sure though. I can't remember. Once you get to like 15 or 16, which like base 16, that's not really that higher than base 10. I think it is a lot better, and probably, I don't know, might be a little bit useful or cool, but um it's a curvy line. Not um might not do this symbol, but the actually scrap this. Um, so let's do it. But basically, you kind of have basically like that kind of line curl type thing. We have that character, and then you have, I don't know, something like that. And you have line curve, and then you have curve, and then you have curve, line, and then you have and this just continues on till you get all curves, and then you get all lines, and then all curves and lines and curves and lines. And I think this, I don't know, I need some type of system. The reason why this is kind of a little bit weird and why I would choose lines and curves is because I need it to kind of be visibly like noticeable on like the characters. Like you'd be able to tell that something like this is not something like this is half of something like this. Like the completed version is twice as much as the halfway point. Or for example, this would be a quarter of the way there. Something along the lines. It's complicated because there's almost too many ways to go about it. Like why this instead of like this seems pretty kind of like I don't know, something can happen there. That's not entirely like non-visible. You can kind of see diagonals pretty clearly, maybe even if they're small, if they're computer generated and they're drawn correctly. Might be a little bit hard to like handwrite, but or take too long to handwrite. But like you'd notice the difference between these two. But like adding like an insane amount of these, that becomes like you wouldn't be able to like count them to know like what character you're at. Whereas this, if you kind of get used to it, let's say this is maybe like let's say I'm not going with the system because I like the concept of the dot being first, and the line being somewhere in there because that's kind of easy to kind of get. It's super simple. Let's say this was the first character, right? Or the 0th character, and then this was first, and then this was second. So then that means like pretty clearly, if you just see all of them filled in, it's 4. Or if you see like a little piece missing, it's 3. Or if you only see one piece, it's 1. Whereas if you try to do it this way, like maybe this this would be 1, this would be 2, so you'd kind of would be 3, and this would be 4. So like the difference between 3 and 4 is a lot less clear than like this. Three and 4. So like this is clearly 3, this is clearly 4. Not so clear 3 and not so clear 4. So pretty quickly this kind of, you can kind of quickly devolve, like some systems kind of like don't like or struggle to kind of, I don't know, if I'm, maybe there's some kind of like fundamental thing I could kind of grasp at to kind of, so it is completely intuitive, completely, as it increments, it maintains like a very decent amount of visibility, and can be a high base count, like base 16 minimum, uh maybe base 32 with, like, it being, um you would know the 31st character and the 32nd character. It would be pretty distinct, but you would still kind of know the progression between the two, that the 32nd was after the 31st, uh almost intuitively. um I don't know if there's like a fundamental thing I could grasp at to come up with that system, but I do have to come up with some system. I know a base 16 symbol would kind of be pretty easy with a little bit of thought, I think. Um, but yeah, being able to like implement that into either line numbers or horizontal numbers, so that way you can kind of fit that in a character, and it be really small, um, so it doesn't kind of interfere with a lot. It's not annoying to see, and you would be able to like know, okay, if I want to reach that point, it's on the 16th character because it looks like that symbol. Uh, Possibly. Um, and I think I want to do more stuff with higher bases in the future anyway, so it might help me learn a little bit, and it might be cool to come up with a system, uh, the higher base that is, I forgot what I was gonna say. It's an hour and 24 minutes. Um, oh, did I do indenting? I think I did do indenting lines. I thought I was. Uh, Escape. I could rate some stuff. I'm gonna rate K's. I think it's this. Escape. And then we break. There we go. I should actually probably be a little bit lower. Where did I put it in normal? Or maybe enter. Put enter first. I normally press V anyway, but let's just do it just to do something. Function over here. I don't know if I changed anything. I keep pressing tab for autocomplete like it's a command line. Okay. If I'm putting escape, might as well put control. Okay. Hope I did something. It's probably like incredibly useless, but I think I'm gonna go to sleep. I've been talking for like an hour, I think. It's June 24th, Friday, 1:26 a.m.